Hello everyone, this is part 10 of What If Naruto Was in Rosario Vampire, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist. To see more, comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Spitfire technique. Out of his mouth came a small stream of concentrated fire. It struck a tree about 20 yards away's center. The flames caught and it was quickly burning. He ran through some more hand signs. Great gale technique. A powerful wind buffeted the tree and the surrounding area, blowing out the flames. As soon as that happened, he ended the jutsu. That was great, Naruto-kun, Mocha said. It was late morning. With classes out, they had been spending most of the mornings training and working out together. She glanced at his face and was surprised to see he wasn't smiling. Is something wrong? Not really, he sighed. It's just that I can't rally cut loose here. Since I've started using the Kyuubi's power to make fire, I've found fire jutsu come as naturally to me and wind ones. I've learned a bunch of really powerful wind and fire based attacks. I'd love to really see what I could do with them, but I don't dare. Are you worried you'll destroy the whole forest? She joked. Yes, he answered completely seriously. And I don't think the people at the academy would appreciate it. The last thing I need right now is to get expelled. He found himself recalling the famous training grounds of his old village. Their ninja could use their full strength without concern. The village had a core of maintenance ninja who specialized in repairing the damage. You could flatten a training ground and within a few days it would be restored. But there was nothing like that here. Well, if you really want, I can take you somewhere that you could do that. He nodded at her. I've actually been thinking about that. He glanced at his watch. I have to go meet Kuyu now. I'll come by for dinner at the usual time. She smiled. I'll make some more ramen for you. Hey, great, I should never have told her ramen was my favorite food. I'll see you later, Mocha-chan. He disappeared in a swirl of wind and leaves. XXXXXXXXXX. I am afraid I have come to the conclusion that the prisoner has no more information to give us. Kuyu said. It really took you this long to figure that out. Kuyu sent him an annoyed glance. That being the case, I want you to deal with him. Deal with him. K him, is that plain enough? I'm not going to do it. Please just let me go, Moroha pleaded feebly. I promise I won't tell anyone anything. They both ignored him. Think of it as training. You need to be able to do terrible things whenever necessary. Naruto gave the kitsune a cold look. Don't assume I'll have any trouble with that when the time comes. But he's not the one I hate. I'm not going to kill a prisoner just because you want me to. Kuyu shook his head disappointed. You're weak, Uzumaki-san. And killing a helpless prisoner will somehow make me strong. Doing what must be done without hesitation will make you strong. Obviously you and I have different ideas about what's necessary. Tell me something, since this has turned out to be AS end, where does the investigation stand? Kuyu frowned at him. At the moment we have no leads, there is no one for us to investigate. When school begins again we will try and find some more of these SC. Alright, in that case I think I'll take a vacation for the rest of winter break. I'll see you again when the semester starts. What about your training? Kuyu demanded. Don't worry, I'll make sure to jab myself with a stick every day. XXXXXXXXXXX. How is it? Mocha asked. Horrible. Terrible. Barely edible. He chewed what was in his mouth and swallowed it. Great. I really love the way you make ramen. I'm so glad you like it, Naruto-kun, Mocha said. To be honest, I don't care for it myself. I guess ramen must be an acquired taste. So I don't think I'll eat it anymore, but I'll be happy to make it just for you anytime you want. Great. Inside he was weeping. Note to self, lying to Mocha only leads to bad things. Listen, Mocha-chan, we have 10 days until classes start. I was wondering if we could go and do something together. Sure, Naruto-kun. What did you have in mind? Well, there's something I've wanted to do for a really long time now. As she listened, Naruto saw the look of excitement on her face fade away. If this is something you don't want to do, Mocha-chan, we don't have to. We can do something else. So long as we're together, I'll be happy. It's not that, Naruto-kun, she sighed. If this is what you want to do, it's fine. It's just that it would probably best if my other side was with you. That would probably be safest. He agreed. She let out another heartfelt sigh. It's fair, I suppose. She loves you too. I just would have liked it if I could have been the one you spent your vacation with. It was one of the many odd aspects of being with someone with two personalities. Even though he was wanting to spend time with her, because he would be with the adult Mocha, it almost felt as if her were abandoning her. He reached across the table and took a hold of her hand. I'll tell you what, Mocha-chan, next break you can choose where we go. She smiled a bit, that seemed to satisfy her. All right. XXXXXXXXXXX. The following day, two strangers entered the town of Jabujiki. Jabujiki was a small town in the middle of a hot empty plain on the western fringes of Earth Country. The permanent population was perhaps 5,000, no more than that. The buildings were all simple stone structures. Many of them looked to be in need of repair. There was no outer wall or gate, so the two of them simply walked into town. All along the streets there were bars and gambling dens. Most of the men they spotted were armed and looking them over. They were a mix of unemployed samurai, mercenaries, bandits, and a handful of rogue ninja. As they walked along a dirt street, every eye turned to them. Naruto knew they were not looking at him. He was dressed in all black with a mask and hood completely covering his face and head except for his eyes. He had weapons and ninja gear openly displayed. He did not have a high-tie though. His choice of dress screamed ninja, but given the surroundings he did not really stand out. They were staring because of Mocha. With her long flowing silver hair, stead red eyes, and fangs, she could not help but draw attention. Her choice of dress, a tight-fitting white blouse, red miniskirt, and heels, only made her even more eye-catching. It was hardly surprising when a group of 6 heavily armed men started approaching them. Every last one of them had a sword belted on and moved with the swagger of men used to getting what they wanted. Seeing them, Mocha grinned slightly. Why not leave these fools to me while you take care of what we came here for? He glanced over at her. You sure? Quite sure. He could tell none of them could mold chakra. They were ordinary samurai or bandits. He felt a little sorry for them. Fine. I'll meet you back here when I'm done. He continued on his way as she veered off towards the approaching men. XXXXXXXXXX. There was only one 2-story building in the entire town, and it was located near the center of it. Over the doorway was a weather-beaten sign that read, Freebooters Guild. He walked in. He was rather surprised to find what looked like just another large bar. There were armed men sitting at various tables drinking and playing cards. It looked nothing like what he had expected. Despite the sign out front, he wondered if he had somehow come to the wrong place. Can I help you? Naruto turned around to see a short balding man with glasses. I'm not sure. I came here to get a mission. The man nodded. You've come to the right place then. My name is Yu and I am the executive secretary of the Freebooters Guild. You are. He couldn't keep the disappointment out of his voice. When he'd first heard of this place, he'd imagined it to be filled with desperate and powerful missing nins. To find someone who looked like a shopkeeper in the middle of a bar, it wasn't what he'd had in mind. The man seemed to understand and just nodded. I don't take any of the missions myself, of course. I simply help to run the guild. Our rules are very simple. You first need to join the guild. There is a 1,000 rupee and you must fill out a form. The membership is good for 1 year. Then you can pick any mission that's on the board. He nodded to the far wall. The wall was covered with perhaps 100 slips of paper. We get all sorts of requests at all sorts of pay rates. Now obviously the rates are much lower than what a ninja village would expect. The whole reason we exist after all is to provide an option for those who can't afford to hire regular ninja. Bloody deeds done dirt cheap. That's our motto. I see, Naruto replied. And these are real ninja missions. They're real missions with real clients. Yu replied. They aren't usually performed by ninja though. As of right now we have 10 ninja in the guild. Most of our members are samurai. Yu eyed him carefully. Are you a ninja? Yeah. Well, that's fine then. We won't ask about your circumstances or what village you are originally from. And just so you know, whatever you put down on the application is just for our records. No one is going to be worried about accuracy. So do you want to join? Naruto nodded. Yeah, I do. He pulled out Gamekin. His frog wallet was stuffed almost to overflowing with rue notes. Just about the only good thing he would say about his village was that the monthly stipend he received was pretty generous. Since he wasn't very materialistic, he had saved up an awful lot. He paid the fee and quickly filled out the form. You took it from him and looked it over. Well, Minato, it's good to have you aboard. Pick out whatever mission you want from the board and then bring it up to me so I can assign it to you officially. Beneath the mask, Naruto was smiling. He thought it only right that he got to use his father's name for once. XXXXXXXXXX. Naruto was carefully looking over the missions that had been tacked up in the wall. Most of them were about what he had expected. Requests for bodyguards, retrieval missions, assassinations, and a few requests for K-pings. He took his time looking them over. This was a one-time thing and he wanted to choose carefully. That was when he noted a small yellowed card a bit lower than the others. He looked at that one. When he read the request, he smiled. Perfect. He snatched it off the wall and brought it back to you. When you read the card, he looked at Naruto. Are you sure this is the one you want? This mission has been sitting up there for at least 5 years. The only reason it was even still up there was because it didn't seem worth the effort of throwing out. You're certain this is the mission you want? It's exactly what I want. You shrugged and wrote something down on a clipboard. It's yours then, good luck, you'll need it. XXXXXXXXXX. Heading down the same street he'd come up, he soon spotted 6 bruised and beaten men lying in the dirt. Mocha was standing there looking bored. Surprisingly, there was no one else in sight. All the men that had been hanging out of the bars looking her over had strangely disappeared. You have fun? He asked her. She looked contemptuous. Bah, they were too weak to even provide a decent workout. Have you gotten what we came here for? I sure did. He handed her the card. She read it with a frown. I do not understand. We came here because you said you wanted to go on an actual ninja mission. Was this the only one available? No. He took the card back from her. They had all sorts of missions, including some high-paying requests for assassinations. But instead you took a request to retrieve a locket. A request that is only paying 2,000 rue. Unless I am completely mistaken, that is a very small amount of money, isn't it? It's not much, Naruto agreed. The two of them were already on the way out of town. But this isn't about the money. Is it about the challenge then? Mocha asked. Because if it is, I would think a mission going against other ninja would be more challenging. It's not really about that either, though I will enjoy getting to use my jutsus at full power for a change. Then if it is not about the money or the challenge, what is it about? From beneath his mask he smiled at her. It's a chance to do what I always wanted to. I do not understand you at all. Mocha admitted. Still she reached out and put her arm through his as they left Jabujiki. XXXXXXXXXX. Sugawa was a bandit leader with 100 men under him. He made a good living traveling the roadways along the far edges of Earth, Wind, and other smaller countries. He made a point of never staying in one location for too long and regularly crossing borders. By doing this, he avoided being seen as too big a problem for any particular country. So long as he and his men remained just nuisances, no one was going to pay to send ninja after them. Given the size of his band, local militias and police forces were no threat at all. He'd been following this simple strategy for 7 years and had profited from it. He had no idea his brilliant career was about to come to a bloody end. The first inkling he got was when a couple of his sentries let out some shouts that were quickly cut off. He and all his men pulled out their weapons and readied themselves within their camp. They were rather surprised to see 2 individuals come tramping out of the woods straight towards them, making no effort to hide themselves. One of them definitely looked like a ninja. The other was a woman with red eyes who seemed to radiate some sort of lethal power. He naturally eyed the surrounding woods, wondering if these 2 were really alone. What is it you want? Sugawa called out. The ninja answered him. A locket. It's silver and made in a heart shape with the picture of a baby boy inside. You and your men stole it from its rightful owner 6 years ago in a little village called Akido. Sugawa gaped at him. Are you serious? Do you think I keep track of every trinket I've ever taken? It's not a trinket to the woman who owned it. Naruto spoke coldly. The sound of his voice and the feel of his mounting intent made a few of the bandits begin to look at each other nervously. To her it's the only picture she has of a child she lost long ago. To her it is a treasure beyond all price. I am going to find that locket and deliver it to her. The only question is whether or not I kill all of you first. Sugawa eyed them both carefully. Even if you are both ninja, I have over 100 well-armed men. The odds would be stacked against you. You mistake me, fool, Mocha said proudly. I am a vampire. And I am no ordinary ninja. I have a demon inside me. Sugawa grinned. What kind of fool do you take me for? The woman may well have some sort of weird bloodline, but there's no such thing as vampires. And demons are nothing but stories. I take it you're ignorant about the Kyuubi and the other Biju. What? Never mind. Naruto began flipping through hand signs. It would be a waste to explain to someone I'm about to kill anyway. Great gale technique. Hurricane force winds struck the men in front of him and scattered them about like leaves in a storm. He quickly cast a second jutsu. Fire style, immortal phoenix technique. Above his head a large bird made of solid flame was born. It flew swiftly straight at the targets he picked. Just one touch of a wing or claw was enough to light the men up like torches. Each man that was set on fire screamed like hell, but only for a little while. Even while he was the one doing it to them, he felt a little sympathy. He understood what they felt as they Mocha had raced straight in, eager to fight. As the bandits staggered to their feet after being blown down, they found themselves facing her. They were no match. Against the speed and power of a vampire, you are nothing. She slammed her fist into another of them and sent him down with a broken jaw. Know your place. XXXXXXXXXX. Naruto could have created a few hundred shadow clones or unleashed the Kyuubi's power and ended things quickly. But that wasn't what he wanted. He wanted to fight like a ninja would. As soon as he ended his fire jutsu, he took out some kunai and raced into the ruined camp. As the bandits tried to come at him, he threw his kunai at them. Surrounding each one with wind-based chakra, they went into and threw their boss. He saw their blood gush out of their ruined chests as they fell fatally wounded or The sight of the blood was different from King with fire. He felt no sympathy. What he felt instead was pleasure. These men were nothing but prey to him, nothing but plump rabbits born for Too quick, most of them were gone, the few remaining were running from him in terror. The thought of letting them go never even crossed his mind. Please no. The great and feared Sugawa begged. Naruto slammed his kunai into the side of his tea. A wild smile was hidden beneath his mask as he watched the blood splurt onto his face and clothing. Seeing the fear in the man's eyes as he gave Naruto nothing but pleasure. XXXXXXXXXX. Any survivors? Naruto asked cheerfully. Only the dozen or so I fought. Mocha said. I noticed you did not leave any. He nodded. Well, I'll go ahead and take care of them. You are going to kill them. She sounded surprised. That's right, the too dangerous to allow to live. If I let them go, they'll talk about fighting a ninja and a vampire. If that gets out, it could be traced back to us. I can't risk it. I see, Mocha said. She made no further comment as Naruto went about cutting TS. XXXXXXXXXX. It took most of the day and the help of 100 shadow clones to go through the treasure wagons. But finally one of his clones came up with a silver locket that matched the description perfectly. We're done, we can go now. He pocketed the locket and dismissed the clones. Along with the locket he had filled a sack with stacks of rune notes as well as some precious stones. Mocha had a fondness for gold and helped herself to a vast number of gold bracelets and other pieces. Seeing him with his sack, Mocha grinned. I thought this was not about the money. It isn't, Naruto replied. But I don't believe in looking a gift horse in the mouth. Now we go to Akido and return the locket to its rightful owner. XXXXXXXXXX. Akido was a small mountainside village located in a sparsely populated region of Earth Country. The people there received few outsiders, and the sudden appearance of Naruto and Mocha caused quite a stir. Naruto quickly explained why they were there, and the residents told them where he could find the locket's owner. XXXXXXXXXX. He stood before a tombstone with the same name as on the yellowed card. The woman who had put in the request to have her precious locket returned to her had over a year ago. He took out the locket and simply let it slip through his fingers. So it was useless, he said bitterly. It was useless from the start. Mocha moved to stand beside him. I do not understand, she spoke quietly. Naruto, why does the death of a woman you never even met bother you? He stared down at the plain tombstone. I was trying to be a hero. You wanted to be a hero. Mocha repeated. Is that what all of this was about? He kept his eyes down. He felt too ashamed and stupid to look her in the eye. When I was just a little kid, I was like everyone else and thought ninja were the coolest. They were seen as the brave protectors of the village. They were looked up to and admired. They were heroes. I used to imagine becoming a ninja and going on heroic missions to help people who needed it. Of course, since then I've gotten some bitter lessons in the reality of ninja life. He paused to take a deep breath. I don't know what I'm going to become, but it certainly isn't a hero. I have so much hate and rage inside me, I'm overflowing with hate. And I'm starting to become someone very cruel. The other day, when I killed those men, I knew they had no chance against me. I knew it and it excited me. I can S them and they can't even touch me, I thought. I TD someone and even though I complained about it I still did it willingly. I'm trying to gain the QB's power, and the more I do the more I can feel myself changing. He looked up at her now. There has always been darkness inside of me, Mocha-chan, places in my heart that I tried not to look at. But ever since I began using the QB's power, the darkness in me has been getting stronger. And what worries me the most? It doesn't bother me anymore to look into the dark. I'm getting used to it, and I'm starting to wonder what I'll become. I see, Mocha said calmly. So before I changed too much I wanted to see, just once, what it was like to be a hero. I wanted to help someone just because they needed it. I don't know, I guess I thought if I could just see what it felt like it might help. But I should have known it wouldn't work. I'm not meant to be a hero, I suppose. Mocha let out a depressed sigh. You are a fool, Uzumaki Naruto. He lowered his head again, feeling defeated. I know. She turned to him and carefully pulled down his mask so she could see his face. Not because you wish to be a hero, but because you do not realize that you already are one. What do you mean? The very first day that you met my other self you were ready to risk your life to protect her, even though you had only just met. You went out of your way to befriend and accept Yukari even though her actions had only caused you grief. When the other Mocha was captured you deliberately walked into a trap to rescue her. And in order to save my life you chose to turn to that very darkness that you so fear. Her hand soothingly touched his cheek. You do not need to go on a mission to be a hero, you already are one. He looked at her. For you and the precious people I care about I would do anything. But there's no denying there's darkness in me. She nodded. Do not deny it, accept it and make it a part of you. That is your only choice, otherwise, if you try and deny it, it really may swallow you whole. I have darkness within me as well. I can hate and be cruel when I must. For instance, I would gladly kill anyone who threatens you or who is your enemy. Even the gentle Mocha can hate when there is cause. Do the things you must to protect those you love. He slowly nodded. The way she said it actually gave him some hope. Thank you, Mocha-chan. Listen, we have 5 days of vacation still left. Do you want to head back to the academy? The adult Mocha smiled. I have a better idea. XXXXXXXXXX. 5 days later, Naruto had the teen Mocha wrapped tight in his arms. It was cold and windy but they didn't mind. They were standing back to front on top of the highest observation level of the Eiffel Tower looking down at Paris at night. I can see why they call it the City of Light, Naruto said. She leaned back against him and let out a contented sigh. I can't believe we have to go back tonight. Well, I still can't believe that the other Mocha suggested I spend the rest of our break with you. The younger Mocha looked up at him and smiled. We are the same person, Naruto-kun. She feels my joy just as I feel hers. She also thought it was best if you were with me for a while. Sometimes I need a hard hand and sometimes I need a gentle one. Something like that. She twisted about in his arms so that she was facing him rather than the skyline. You are a good man, Naruto-kun, and I love you very much. Never doubt that even if you do things you are not proud of, I will still love you. He kissed her. Thank you, Mocha-chan. As long as I have your love I think I can face anything. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.